And I ain't feeling the dude. He got mad because I wasn't in love with his views. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. That beginning was a little Joe Budden, who is currently dissing Drake, and I'm enjoying it. You guys know I love hip-hop. I might even do a review on it. He made a first song called Making a Murderer. He bodied Drake, and he really just clowned him in that song. And he dropped a new one last night called Wake, and that was a good one as well. So I'm anxious to see what Drake does to respond. Back with Ego Rumor Mill. What that is just like the title suggests, it's a rumor. Nothing official, but something that is being speculated from a good source. Now, the rumor is that Canelo may face Billy Joe Saunders in December. They're trying to stage a co-main event or undercard fight with Billy Joe Saunders on the Canelo-Liam Smith fight. And if they're both victorious in those bouts, then that may be the bout. There's already a date slated for Canelo, December 10th. And it's supposed to be on regular HBO. I did a video yesterday. It's called Triple G versus Canelo doubleheader. Could, keyword could, because with the whole Canelo Triple G situation, it's a big could lead to an earlier bout between the two. So make sure you guys check that out. Eric Gomez of Golden Boy said that they're potentially trying to put Triple G as a co-main event in December and make it a pay-per-view deal to further build up a Triple G fight. So we'll see if that comes off. But for now, it looks like Billy Joe Saunders is a potential candidate in the Canelo sweepstakes. I want to talk about it, give my views on the situation. Billy Joe Saunders, definitely a solid fighter. He's a middleweight. I do have questions. It's not really making sense how Canelo is being handled fully, and I'm going to break that down right now. So my question is this. First thing is, Canelo vacated his WBC belt and avoided the Golovkin fight. Then he's dropping back down to fight Liam Smith. And one thing I noticed is why all of a sudden interest in Canelo fighting all these UK fighters. And there's nothing wrong with the UK. UK has, they got a lot of champions right now. I think they have more than the States. They have 14 active champions, if I'm not mistaken. UK fighters are doing great. But I'm just curious why Amir Khan, Liam Smith, and then Billy Joe Saunders. There's a ton of talent in the talent pools at 154 and 160. So I don't know how it just keeps being a UK fighter potentially, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever, it's just something I noticed. But my real issue is this. Canelo vacated his middleweight WBC green belt to avoid the fight with Golovkin. Now he's dropping back down to junior middle, a fight weight he hasn't fought in his last 5 fights. Angulo, Lada, Kirkland, Cotto, Khan, right? He hasn't fought at that weight. Now he's fighting at 154 on HBO pay-per-view against the little-known, little-proven Liam Smith. And if you win, should Canelo win, and he should be the favorite, plus a lot of times in Canelo fights, it looks like the judges seem to side with him, his style, if you will. In the Mayweather fight, they scored it a draw, which was absurd. In the Khan fight, they scored it. 2 of the 3 judges had Khan losing, which is absurd. So it's an uphill battle for Liam Smith, needless to say. But let's say he gets past him, which he should. Then in December, possibly fighting Billy Joe Saunders for a WBO belt. So I don't understand why this fascination with the WBO belt. Demetrius Andrade called Canelo out and even called him a bitch. And he had the WBO belt. There was no interest, no response really from Team Canelo. I never even really hear him talk about Andrade. And now all of a sudden they're after WBO belts. So to me, what I'm trying to say is the Liam Smith fight seems like a waste of time. He's going to fight at 154 when the whole deal that Golden Boy is saying is they want to build up a Golovkin fight and gradually move their fighter up, but they're moving in the opposite direction to fight a Liam Smith. And then if you beat him, you're going to, I guess, vacate the 54-pound belt and move up and fight Billy Joe Saunders at some kind of catch weight or the full 160, so somewhere between 155 and 160. So really, what is the point of a Liam Smith fight? Not making any sense. If you beat him, people are saying the only selling point for that fight, based on the level of notoriety that Liam Smith has, what he's proven thus far, the only selling point for me is that he has a belt. So if you fight him, beat him, and then take his belt, and then you just get rid of it without defending against a Charlo or trying to unify or fighting a Demetrius Andrade Lada rematch, then there was no point. The only selling point for that fight was the belt. So if you just turn around and get rid of it to fight a Billy Joe Saunders or have a middleweight fight, then it doesn't make sense, because you can't fight Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders, to fight for that belt, would have to come down to 154. Anything above that would be technically middleweight, right? So it's not really making sense. And they said the game plan for Canelo was to gradually move up. Why not now? Why not immediately fight the Billy Joe Saunders? To me, that's more explainable as a pay-per-view fight than the Liam Smith. So things like these aren't making sense to me. And again, why would you vacate one belt, the WBC belt, in search of a belt in the lower division, and then only to, in December of this year, try to fight for that same belt, the WBO belt, in a higher division? Things like this don't make sense. So I don't understand really how Canelo's being handled in that regard. The goal is to fight. Now, this is the big problem I have too, and this is speculation, but it's based on patterns. Canelo, if he fights Billy Joe Saunders is a champion. So this is not a Cotto versus Daniel Gill situation. What I mean by that, Gill, he had no business trying to make 157. He did it for the payday. He was coming off of a stoppage loss to Gennady Golovkin just a year prior. He had a fight with Jared Fletcher, and then he fought Cotto. So it's not like he had done much since the Triple G loss. So point being is Daniel Gill wasn't in a position where he could dictate any kind of terms. So you get that call to fight Cotto, you have to take that opportunity. Take the paycheck. You never know when another opportunity like that will come. I get that. Now, Canelo's the A-side over a guy like Billy Joe Saunders, in my opinion. However, you got to respect that Billy Joe Saunders is a champion. So my fear is this. Canelo's team keeps saying they want to gradually move up to middleweight. So what is that going to entail? Is Billy Joe Saunders going to have to fight his title against a challenger at a catchweight? If that's the case, I don't really like that. If it's 159, that's petty, but okay, whatever. That's what Cotto did versus Sergio Martinez. And that was just obviously to piss Martinez off and pull rank, because I don't think many people believe that 1 pound would have changed anything. It looked like Sergio's knee was shot to shit, and that outcome would have been the same with the 1 pound or not, right? But to fight anything less than that, like the 155, 6, 7, 8, it doesn't really make sense to make the champion do that. So that's my fear for Canelo. They keep saying they want to gradually move up. You look at boxing history, no one's really done that. Teetered between two divisions and gradually moved up. Like you look at people say, oh, Mayweather, he fought Canelo at a catchweight. Canelo was over 10 years younger and a champion who was undefeated and been looking good, right? And Mayweather fought him. But even if you take that out of the equation, he had still, Mayweather, who was not a big dude, had still fought at 54 before. He fought De La Hoya and Cotto, first round Hall of Famers at that division, right? So even if you remove the Canelo fight for whatever reason, he has still fought at that. And I was just at Mayweather's daughter's party. The guy is not a big guy. I know for a fact he is not rehydrating on fight night to what a Demetrius Andrade, Willie Nelson, Charlo brothers, and those guys at junior middle are rehydrating to. I just met Andrade. I know Willie Nelson. Those guys are legit 6'1", and Willie Nelson's about 6'4", right? So I know there's no way Floyd don't have that frame. Floyd's listed at like 5'9", but I don't think that's accurate. I think he's more like 5'7", 5'7 and a half. He's not 5'9". So the point being, in history, throughout boxing, many guys have just moved up. It wasn't a gradual process. Pacquiao, yes, De La Hoya dropped down late in his division. I think that took a toll on him because he didn't look like the same fighter. He had some mileage on him. He had wars. But Pacquiao still moved up 2 divisions to fight De La Hoya, right? So it's still a gamble on his end, right? And you look at Mayweather. His first fight in the new division, he fought DeMarcus Corley, who at that time was game. Actually, DeMarcus Corley just won like the Jamaican contender right now, right? But especially back when Floyd fought him, he was game. He had experience. He fought Judah. He had fought Cotto. And he even hurt Floyd. Floyd had to buckle down and come back correct in that particular fight. That was his first fight in the division. So if you want to gradually, which some of the other champions and past greats have done, like the Pacquiaos and Mayweather, you want to gradually move up, fine. But I don't think it should entail all this catchweight nonsense in multiple fights like that. What you should do, from my standpoint, is fight a middle of the road dude. If you took the Danny Garcia approach, I have no problem with that. What I mean by that, Danny Garcia, lineal 140-pound champion, he said, I'm moving up to welterweight. This weight is killing me. And he moved up and fought Paulie Malignaggi, former champion, guy who had been in there with Cotto, guy who had been in there with Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, and had experience. And he's not the biggest puncher. And Danny Garcia got himself used to the division. Then he fought Robert Guerrero. I have no problem with that. You're fighting actual welterweights in the new division. Now, as Danny Garcia's career keeps going at welterweight, I want to see him step up and keep, fighting better and better, stiffer competition. But that doesn't look like something that Canelo's team may be doing, and I don't know. This could be speculation, but the fact that they said we want to gradually move up, it scares me, because gradual means like a gradual process. You look up the term in the dictionary. So I just feel like they're going to try to find middleweights. And Paulie Malignaggi said this when I interviewed him. He said, I don't know how many middleweights you're going to be able to find that can fight at Canelo weight, if they can even make those weights, right? So I just hope if it is Billy Joe Saunders, it's at the full 160. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of all these catch weights? I don't want to see a champion have to give into all these reckless A-side demands. Like, A-side demands have always been around. Some people blame it on Floyd or whoever, but they've always been around. But certain things were used in moderation. Ring size, glove size, purse split. Those are A-side demands too. But those are more reasonable because, first of all, ring size especially, I think all fighters need to know how to fight in different ring sizes. That's something you should know. You should be able to adjust to that. Glove size, that's something also, because at the end of the day, it's not like someone like Marvin Hagler saying, oh, I get to fight you in 1 ounce gloves, Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? It's not going to be nothing ridiculous. It has to be something approved by the commission too. But making a champion come down from 160 to 56 or something like that so you can comfortably gradually move up at your own pace, that's not right. And I hope these guys don't allow that to happen, A-side or not. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like Billy Joe Saunders wanted it with Golovkin, but I wouldn't want someone to fight me and I can't be at my best because I'm at a weight disadvantage. I'm a full-fledged middleweight and I'm coming down. So this is, again, is all speculation. I'm just telling you what I want and what I don't want. And that's kind of what I see from the whole Canelo situation. It just seems like since his team keeps putting that out there, that they want to gradually move up. They want to move up on their own terms, aka give themselves a huge advantage by making middleweights come down. And then when you're full and ready, then you fight Golovkin. And Golovkin's going to be years older. He's already 34 years old. So I don't really like that aspect of it. Again, my solution, I don't just come up with problems, I come up with solutions. My solution is, if you want to build up and get used to a middleweight, then just jump in the pool. You know what I mean? Dip your feet in. Like, yeah, you're going to have to get wet. They say if you want to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. So if you want to move up, gradually to me means gradually step up your competition, not gradually move up in weight increments. Oh, I'll fight at 157 now. Okay, next fight, 158. And then the next fight, I'll fight at the full 160. No, nobody else in history that I remember had gradually moved up like that. And people just, when they say they're moving up a division, they move up. Lomachenko, he just fought and knocked out a champion in dominant fashion. He won every single round. He didn't say, oh, I'm moving from 126 to 128. And Rocky Martinez has to come down to 128 as champion if he wants to fight me. He didn't do nothing. He moved up from 126 to 130. That's it, and knocked out a champion. So I think that's what Canelo should do. Fight a Willie Monroe, and that's how you gradually move up, not like gradually move up at your own pace. You know what I mean? This is boxing. You can't play box. It's not like a school course, a classroom where you just learn at your own pace type of thing. So Canelo's been a pro since age 15. Hopefully his team makes the right decision. Share the video, like the video. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. Now Canelo's clearly an A-side. What do you think for the Gennady Golovkin fight? Should Gennady Golovkin bite the bullet, come down to 155, or should it be at the full 160?
See, I don't know, because it's hard to make 155 if you're a 160 pounder, you know? Like, you know, I don't know that Canelo can fight any real middleweights at 155 pounds. Like, I fight at welterweight. I can't fight at 142 pounds. If I can make 142 pounds, I'd be fighting a junior welterweight, you know? So I don't know that you're gonna get any real middleweights with the ability to make 155 pounds. I really question that. So if that's the case, Canelo will always be defending against non-middleweights, even if he has the middleweight title. So we'll see. It's not a matter of if he should or shouldn't. For me, it's a matter of if he even can, if he wants to. You know?